Did you guys hear about the homeowner who called ICE on the workers she hired to fix her roof just to get out of paying them? So these 6 men from Guatemala spent 3 days working on this one's roof in Maryland. It was said that the job was completely done and that when it was time to pay up, which she owed a total of $10,000, she called ICE to her home to arrest the workers. So the story went super viral and people were pissed off because obviously it's a shitty thing to do, but also you add the fact that it's because she didn't want to pay them, and that makes it so much more messed up. Anyway, since this video came out, her and her family have been getting death threats like non-stop, and she said that she actually never called ICE on the workers, and ICE also said that it was a planned operation way before that day and that the homeowner had nothing to do with this. And then people started pointing out something. They said that in the video it actually looks like the job hadn't even been started yet, which if that's true, it kind of changes the whole story, because then the whole she called ICE to avoid paying them doesn't really add up. Now, if the original story is true, if she did call ICE to get out of paying these workers, she could actually be charged with a crime. The law doesn't allow you to use someone's immigration status to get out of paying them for their work. Either way, this whole situation is so fucked up.
Here's the most unsolved mysteries with the most chilling phone call, part 1. Trigger warning, all of these stories you're about to see are real and documented, and every single one of these are still unsolved to this day. For our first story tonight, there's this young girl named Antoinette. On April 6, 1986, her and her sister were up at 3 a.m. at the house. At just 9 years old, they heard a knock on the door. She said, "Who is it?" And this man said, "Uncle Joe, please let me in, it's cold out here." According to her sister's reports, as soon as Antoinette opened the door, 2 men grabbed her and put her in a brown van. Here's where everything gets super creepy. Her sister said that she kicked and screamed all the way to the van. 1 year later, the police received this phone call, and what you're about to hear literally gives me chills.
Police department? Hello? I'm Antoinette Caribito. Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque? Hello? Antoinette, where are you?
This
Copy recording.
Scary facts about your body. The liver can grow back. Bones are alive. Sweat can turn red. Eyes can pop out. Teeth can grow in weird places. Trees can grow in lungs. You can forget how to breathe. You can be allergic to water. There are trillions of viruses in you right now. Your nose can fall off. Your brain can eat itself. Your heart can explode. You can cough up a lung. You can cry stones. Your nails can grow after death. Your ears never stop growing. You can taste with your feet. You can shed your skin like a snake.
Did Jeffrey Epstein and his friends consume human meat? Did they eat babies? Well, I have some shocking new things to show you. First of all is this email exchange sent in July of 2009. I do not know who this was sent to and who Jeffrey was talking to, but as you can see, somebody at the bottom writes Jeffrey and says, "LOL, I don't know if cream cheese and baby are on the same level." And then they talk about a schedule and a fuel explosion. I don't know what that even means. But yeah, disturbing. I don't know if cream cheese and baby are on the same level. I mean, babies are babies. Cream cheese is a food that you eat, obviously. And then above that, Epstein writes back, "There are millions of babies, very little good vegetable cream cheese." So you can make of that what you will, but to me it really seems like they're discussing eating babies. I mean, I don't really know what to make of that. There's also a lot of what seems to be coded speak in the Epstein files dealing with muffins. For example, here's one email found in the files that says, "Hey Lynn, can you please make sure I have some muffin batter and baked muffins to take with us tomorrow to the ranch? Thanks." Then here's another email. T passed on your rude Easter creature movie. Thought you might like Nutty. I doubt he is up to your normal muffin standard. Hope to see you soon. Whatever that means. Here's another one you can pause to read if you'd like. The other thing he would like to change is the size of his muffins. Could you please bake the muffins for Mr. Epstein, make them smaller in size? Your muffin proportions are good. However, they should have no brown sugar on the top. Then again, woohoo, I'm so happy for you. Gobble down a muffin, take a nice long shower, and crawl into bed. Just such a strange email. And this one's pretty bizarre. Hi, Sonam. Jeffrey might come back to New York, June, yada yada. I think we should get the muffin ingredients on the airplane this Friday, June 8th, just in case. Do any of the ingredients expire quickly, or will all be okay until June 20th? Then in response, there's nothing that will expire quickly, and all the ingredients will be ready by tomorrow and will get in airplane this Friday. Then super, thank you. So what the hell kind of muffin are they talking about here? What kind of muffin do you have to fly in ingredients for from God knows where? What type of ingredients get into an airplane? What's up with all the speak of muffin? There's tons of mentions of pizza, tons of mentions of muffins in these emails. And to me and many others online, this looks to be code speak. Obviously, I don't think they're talking about actual muffin ingredients here, unless there's some super bougie, incredibly sensitive muffin that only the super elite uber rich know about and eat on a regular basis. And yeah, it goes back to messages like this: millions of babies, very little good vegetable cream cheese. And it really makes you wonder what all these people were eating when they were hanging out with Epstein and his gang of ghouls.
These are the 10 worst movies of all time according to IMDb. So if you're in the mood for something terrible, here you go. And for reference, these movies are so bad that War of the Worlds didn't even make the list. So starting off in 10th place is Epic Movie with 2.5 stars. Then in 9th place is 2005's Son of the Mask. Moving on, in 8th place is technically the worst zombie movie of all time, House of the Dead. In 7th place is the most current movie on this list, coming out in 2021, Radi. Now in 6th place, starring Paris Hilton, is The Hottie and the Naughty. The name isn't bad, but it's often cited as the worst rom-com of all time. In 5th place is Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, making it technically the worst Christmas movie of all time. In 4th place is Super Baby's Baby Geniuses 2. Now in 3rd place is Birdemic Shock and Terror. This movie became infamous for its terrible CGI birds, which were literally dragged across the screen frame by frame. In 2nd place is the oldest movie on this list, Manos: The Hands of Fate, which was actually made by a fertilizer salesman after he bet he could make a horror movie despite having zero filmmaking experience. And finally, the lowest rated movie of all time is Disaster Movie. So if anyone dare watches any of these movies, let me know if they're so bad that they're good or if they're just bad.
I'm arresting you.
Yeah.
Okay, on suspicion.
This is the moment a 30-year-old was arrested for a crime committed over 2 decades ago.
Of the theft of Trevor A's Elmer's glue stick in Schaumburg, Illinois in 2002. Do you know what I'm referring to, sir?
Kevin Sanchez was linked to the theft of Trevor A's glue stick after a forensic scientist found nose hair samples on a glue stick discovered earlier this year at the park near Michael C.'s old house. The DNA matches suggest they were 1 billion times more likely to have come from Sanchez than anyone else. Trevor A's glue stick was originally reported missing from Mrs. Griffith's first grade class in 2002, but in the 23 years that followed, no one was brought to justice. Sanchez denies the crimes.
Facts you didn't know that could save your life. If your hair suddenly stands up, run for cover because you're about to be hit by lightning. If a service dog ever approaches you without its owner, follow it immediately because you could save that person's life. If you're driving and you feel like someone's following you, make 4 right turns until you eventually make a circle. If they're still behind you, don't go home. Call the police or go to the nearest police station. If you see a tornado and it's not moving, it's because it's actually moving towards you. If the ocean is retreating, there's a tsunami coming. Run to the nearest high ground immediately. No matter how thirsty you are, do not eat large amounts of snow. Too much ice in your stomach can cause you to die of hypothermia. Melt the ice and then drink it. Before a natural disaster, fill up your sink and tub so that you have access to emergency clean water. If you are ever chased by a polar bear, take off all your clothes, get completely naked, and throw them on the ground. Polar bears have really short attention spans and will inspect the clothes before continuing to chase you. If you're on a plane that crashes into the water, don't inflate your life vest until after you've swam out of the plane. If you inflate your life jacket before escaping, you are much more likely to get trapped inside the plane.
update on Felicity and Dakota, and after seeing these pictures, people are very concerned, especially for Felicity. Now, the guy that shared these photos, I guess took these photos, Harry Hamrick over on FB, asked people to stop calling the police on Dakota. People are still calling, saying that there is a minor out on the streets by herself, when in reality, they know it's Dakota, they are just calling to call. We even have audio from one of those 911 calls that was released a few weeks ago.
Greenbrier Street, Washington Street East. Dakota is standing there holding a sign. Callers called in, getting out of trouble being on him. You want us to clear what he was?
Well, this photo seems as though Dakota is, for whatever reason, on top of Felicity, but what her pants say are actually kind of funny. It says, I heart SLUTS. Here's the big picture of that photo, but here is why people are concerned specifically about Felicity. It seems as though Felicity and Dakota have both shaved their heads completely. Could be a medical reason, could be by choice, but people are very concerned.
My daughter's sleeping with me in my bed tonight. She kept saying that she was really scared of something in her room. I'm a little bit shaky. I don't know if you guys can tell, but so this is the same toy that used to go off in the past, and it's always terrified me since, because I would ask it questions and it would answer with noises. With noises.
It's late at night when a mother quickly grabs her phone to record this video. She lays in bed across from her daughter, who just told her a few hours ago that she was scared of sleeping in her room. According to the mother who sent me this, she was terribly shaken up by the events of that night. Something in her home had felt completely off, and she needed to record this. While taking this video, she captures this.
Fun fact, Skrillex's breakout hit, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, is surprisingly good at stopping mosquito bites. In 2019, researchers were testing if electronic music had any effect on mosquitoes, trying a bunch of different songs. To conduct the experiment, they had 2 different test groups. In each group, there were hundreds of female mosquitoes who hadn't eaten in 12 hours, 1 virgin male mosquito, and a hamster. One of the test groups would listen to a song on repeat for 10 minutes, and the control group wouldn't listen to anything. And the researchers found that the mosquitoes who listened to Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites took 3 to 4 times longer to find the hamster, and when they did find it, they didn't bite it nearly as many times as the control group. And the Skrillex mosquitoes also mated significantly less than the mosquitoes in the control group. The researchers believe the song's mix of high and low frequencies, constantly escalating pitch, and excessive loudness essentially overwhelmed and confused the mosquitoes, making it hard for them to focus and find the hamster and eat it. And the song's aggressive, noisy vibrations prevented the mosquitoes from performing their mating ritual, where the male and female mosquitoes synchronize their wing beats.
I found some stuff on my husband's phone. And here's
Where's he at?
I've seen this, and I never thought it would happen to me. And we got 2 kids. One of them
This girl claims that she's lived before. Olivia began saying strange things from a young age. She loved music and she kept saying that she wanted a guitar. Her mother eventually bought her one. She bought her very first guitar, and to her surprise, when Olivia picked it up, she began playing like she'd played before. Her mother said, "Olivia, how did you just do that?" She said, "Mummy, I used to be a singer. I used to sing in California and New York." The details just kept coming from this kid. She said, "I used to have a family before I became your daughter." She claimed that she travelled on horse and cart, and she had a sister called Mary Ann.
My name is Olivia and I'm 5 years old. Yeah, I got a bunch of sisters, but them died, but I have one left, Mary Ann.
Interestingly enough, Olivia did not like her chin being touched. If anybody touched her chin, she would scream. She would scream as if it hurt. And Mother took her to the doctors, and the doctor said, "She's fine, there's nothing wrong." It was kind of put down as a sensory issue. Olivia continued spurting out facts about this past life. Her mother believed there was something more to this, and through some extensive research, she found something. By the way, if you are enjoying these types of videos, hit the like and repost and show the page some love. Anyway, so Mother started researching and she found something. She found something that fit. Olive Oatman was a young pioneer girl who was held captive after her family were attacked. There was only her and her sister who survived. Her sister, Mary Ann, they were actually kidnapped by a tribe, and they were marked with tattoos on their chins. It was a sign of ownership, a sign of belonging. When Olivia's mother showed the photo of Olive Oatman to her daughter, she said, "Look, Mummy, it's me." Oh, that just gave me the chills.
Here are some deeply terrifying facts. The human eye evolved specifically to detect eyes watching us, so if you ever feel like you're being watched, it's because that instinct has saved lives. If you are ever to be murdered, the most effective way of disposing of your body is to feed it to pigs, because pigs will eat anything and everything. They make sure that there's no traces of your body left. Many people vanish this way. There are people alive right now that will never ever be found. Thousands of people vanish every year without a trace. No body, no clues, no explanation. If you ever get murdered in the US, there is a 1 in 3 chance that your murder will never ever be discovered or caught. Some murders will never be discovered, not unsolved, undetected. No investigations, no missing persons, nothing. At some point in your life, you will have likely walked past either a murderer or someone capable of extreme violence, and there's a very bigger chance that you've walked past people who are seconds away from violence. Your death could be completely unnoticed, even during the day, even in urban areas, even in your bed, or even in a public place. Modern life hides death very, very well.
This pedophile author was arrested yesterday for sharing CSAM materials online and for actively chatting with other pedophiles on the dark web. So this is author Craig Silvey. He is a very famous figure in Australia. He is an award-winning author of books for teenagers and children. His biggest work to date is the novel Jasper Jones, which he released over a decade ago, which was such a big book that it was actually adapted into a full feature-length movie. Just last year in 2025, a book by Silvey called Runt and the Diabolical Dognapping became Australia's #1 children's book. It was literally the best-selling children's book of last year. However, on Monday this week, Western Australia police forces executed a search warrant on Craig's home because they suspected him of not only possessing but also trading child exploitation material online with other pedophiles. And according to reporting, when the authorities arrived at Craig's home on Monday and knocked on his door, they found him actively engaging with pedophiles online using his electronic devices, meaning that when they carried out the search warrant, he was browsing the dark web. I don't know what exactly he was doing, trading CSAM materials with other pedos, literally when the police showed up to his door. And now he has been charged with possessing and distributing CSAM materials to other predators online. All across Australia today, bookstores are pulling Craig Silvey's books from their shelves. And obviously this is highly distressing and disturbing given the fact that he actually wrote the top-selling children's book that was released last year in Australia. So this guy is a bona fide children's author who was engaging with pedophiles online and sharing and collecting CSAM materials of his own. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this story. This is a disturbing development. But it just goes to show that these people are everywhere. They are in high places, they're in the literary world, they're in the political world, and we need to continuously raise awareness about these crimes because they just keep happening.
Bizarre mystery of the most beautiful slave in New Orleans history. In the autumn of 1837, the St. Louis Hotel in New Orleans was packed with the city's wealthiest men. The auction that evening had drawn an unusual level of interest, even for a city known as the largest slave market in the United States. This is Black AF History, the unwhitewashed story of America. It not only talks about slavery, but about how our people are the foundation and backbone of this country, and we need the recognition we deserve. I'll link it below. Grab it while it's on Black Friday sale. Now, what made this particular sale different was not the number of human beings on the block, but rather the presence of a single woman who would soon become known throughout the city as the Pearl, a name that would echo through the cobblestone streets of the French Quarter for decades to come. She stood 5 feet and 4 inches tall, with skin described in the auction papers as the color of fresh cream with the slightest hint of coffee. Her eyes were a deep amber that seemed to change hue depending on the light, and her hair fell in long, glossy black waves down her back. The auctioneer, a man named Thomas Williams, introduced her simply as lot number 17. But those in attendance knew they were witnessing something extraordinary, as whispers moved through the crowd like ripples on the Mississippi. Now, biracial slaves, mulatto slaves, and slaves with 1/4 black ancestry were considered to be somewhat of a delicacy. Now, I hate using that word, but that's just how I would describe it for what, people used to do to us back in the day. And because of the fact that she was light-skinned and that she had a lot of passing features, she was considered to be one of the most beautiful slaves in New Orleans at the time, at least by the white people in white society, but she was still treated as a slave and sold at the slave market as a slave was. Now, a lot of mulattoes were like 2 or 3 times the price of a dark-skinned slave.
Leyendas captadas en cámara, Jarjacha, Perú. Es uno de los videos más reales de la jarjacha y se ve tal cual como lo describen en las leyendas. Cuerpo de llama, pero con la cabeza de un humano. El video no es de buena calidad y puede que sea antiguo, pero sin duda es de los más aterradores que he encontrado. Este video es de un creador llamado Kaxomi que ya lo hemos visto varias veces en el canal y se dedica a recrear leyendas aterradoras como esta. Y en esta oportunidad nos muestra cómo se vería la jarjacha en la vida real. Sin embargo, esta representación tiene un detalle curioso y es que se le muestra con 2 cabezas y les voy a explicar por qué. La jarjacha es una criatura que nace del incesto y para esta leyenda existen 2 versiones. La primera dice que cada una de las personas involucradas se convierte en un jarjacha, pero la segunda versión y la más más aterradora, afirma que ambas personas que cometieron el pecado del incesto quedan atrapadas en la misma criatura, y es por ello que se cuenta que muchas veces se le ha visto con dos cabezas humanas, el del hombre y el de la mujer, o bueno, dos hombres o dos mujeres que sean familiares.